Hi, we're the Polarsets and you're watching Winkball.com.
First thing to ask really is, where did the Polarsets come from as a name?
It kind of, to be brutally honest, we just sat around thinking of names for about 3 days and came up with Polarsets. Like, there is no greater story than that. But we subsequently came up with a better story than that. It isn't actually the truth, but I'll relate it, which is this. Polarsets is the kind of idea, like the polars more meant to mean things like polar opposites. And
opposing ideas.
Yeah, like opposing ideas, and a polar set would be something where you've kind of got two things that are very different but joined in the same way. So like, you know, you could say that like sunshine and rain are very different, but they're obviously also very much the same. Like they're both weather. And I think like our music kind of is a bit like that. You know, we've kind of taken elements of like pop and indie, which are like at opposite ends of the spectrum, and then Indian dance, which are at opposite ends of the spectrum, and kind of like thrown it all into a bit of a melting pot. And I guess that's kind of how the name is supposed to relate to the music in the band.
So is it like a completely natural progression for you to get Indian dance, or were there inspirations that like set you off down that route, or is it just something you've always done?
Yeah.
I guess it kind of was really. I mean,
I think Rob came from a very kind of indie pop background, and I'd been doing some pretty bad electronic writing. I'd been trying to, I kind of made like a bit of an album in summer 2009 of really kind of
bad.
Yeah, well, I was kind of just trying to learn how to use the software, so I kind of.
Did you have GarageBand or Logic?
Yeah, it was on GarageBand back then, and then I later got Logic and kind of got a bit handy on that. So I guess that's where the dance side of things started, but now we're all kind of quite handy with software. Yeah,
and I'd say recently as well we've kind of stripped the whole thing back a bit, and we now pretty much only use like 2 synth sounds. We kind of have like one quite sharp, punchy one, and then one really trancy, like big paddy one. And aside from that, we're trying to kind of. We've been away on tour for a month. We just got back, and I think we're really quite keen to make the live show just like ludicrously good. So we kind of want to, a lot of the new stuff that we're working on and new arrangements of old songs are very much just back at basics, kind of like just drums, guitar, bass, and then like these couple of synth songs that we use. So I don't know. I think people always kind of want to pigeonhole you, and they hear the music and they kind of go, oh, well, I can't really pigeonhole that. So it's like a bit of a kind of an amalgamation of pop and indie and dance and stuff. But I think really it's just like, do you want to check your text? I think really it's just it's just the kind of music that we naturally make when we sit together in a room. That's all it is. It's not really overly thought out.
So is it particularly difficult on stage to try and keep the kind of loops from your earlier stuff going, or because I saw when you were playing radio once, Big Weekend, you just had a laptop set up. Yeah. Is it particularly difficult to do that sort of thing, or?
No. If you wanted to get technical at all, it just comes off one track, like a stereo track on Logic, and one side of it goes to the headphones, which James plays to a click, and then we all play to James. The rest goes out the front. But we rehearsed a little while ago with a 4th member, and we kind of considered it quite a few times. Really love someone who could play like tuned percussion, so things like marimbas and things like that would be really, because a lot of the kind of sounds that we use would be. It's almost based on that, really, isn't it? It wouldn't really be something you could play on a keyboard, because you'd just be like, right? You'd be chinning the keyboard, whereas if you had a tuned percussion player, then that would be really good. But at the same time, they're just very difficult to get around. And we're quite kind of, I don't know, we've been together for so long, I think we just prefer playing as a 3-piece, and the live show kind of, I think a lot of what's really good about it is the fact that we know each other well, and we're good friends, and we've been playing together for years, and it's like, we're really tight as a 3, and I think it would be a shame really to ruin that. So yeah, we're kind of quite comfortable with using the laptop and stuff. A lot of bands do it. It's just some of them fake it better than we do.
Right, I know you're sort of changing and stripping yourself back, but if, say, one person who's watching this now had to pick one of your songs to listen to try and get a general feel of the band, have you got a particular one you'd pick?
I'd say Morning is a good kind of balance of all of our influences, and like it really reflects our style and where it's going quite nicely.
Morning.
Not fair.
Excuse me.
Maybe texting you. Have you used Dick Off and done that?
Right. Off topic. If you had to pick if you had to pick one album to listen to the rest of your life, what would it be?
Good question.
You wouldn't want to pick a good one because you'd hate it, wouldn't you? If you had to listen to it forever.
I'd want to pick a good one. I certainly wouldn't want to pick a bad one. One album to listen to for the rest of my life. Don't know. Maybe something that's just got so much to it that it would take you ages to get bored of it. I don't know. I'll just go for After the Gold Rush by Neil Young.
I'll have Anthem by Christian Scott.
Makes sense.
Fair enough. Right, we've just been discussing before this, but have you got anything coming up? Anything we should be watching out for?
Yeah, I mean, we're hopefully going to be putting another single out at some point towards the end of the summer, and we're kind of in negotiations with one or two labels as to who's going to do it with us, and also negotiations as to which song it's even going to be. But yeah, I guess a single at the end of the summer. Over the summer, the plans to do a few festivals, smaller festivals. We're definitely doing a festival in Festival.
We're going to really kind of take the live show up a notch as well. So that's something to really come and see and look forward to.
We just got back off our first kind of like big, well, I guess it was pretty much a headline tour really. We didn't really support many bands at all. I think you would call it a headline tour. And it was like we were away for a month, and it's like, I think, you know, we got really great response off the crowds and that, but you come back and you're just like, oh, I can make that so much better if I just did this, that, the other, if I had the time. And when you're away, obviously you can't, because you know, you don't really have the resources to do it, but now that we're back, James is right, I think a lot of work on the live show is very much on the cards over the next couple of months.
So do you prefer doing like the sort of short, sharp, intensive tours then? Like, so you can go and...
I guess change the those because we're kind of like quite a single track.
Yeah, we do. We kind of go through periods where we'll just write like solidly for a month or something, and then we'll just record and like get our heads in that, and then tour. And you know, we're not really a band to I think it'd be better really if we were more balanced and we just did a mix of things, because I think we'd generally just be a bit more stable. But you kind of like, I don't know, it's quite nice because you're always looking forward to the next thing, but you're never particularly happy where you are. You just like, you know, you're stuck in a studio just like recording and mixing stuff like all day long. You're like, I want to get out on tour so badly. And then you go away on tour and you're just like sleeping on a couch for the third night in a row, and you just like, well, go home, kiss my girlfriend. So yeah, like, I guess that's the answer to the question.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer like the actual tour, or do you prefer doing festivals? Because I know you just started doing them.
I really like doing festivals. I think we're quite festival friendly as a band.
So very summery, very
lively.
Yeah, I think summer festivals are kind of very much our home on the live stage. I'd like to think that, you know, that would be the kind of thing we'd like to do in the future. Do a lot of summer festivals, you know, every summer and things like that. So yeah, I guess both are cool.
Festival-wise, what's your best one you've been to? It doesn't have to be what you played at, but what would you consider to be your favourite that you've...
Great Escape, if that counts as a festival.
Yes, it kind of does.
That was really
does it have to be a campy festival, or can it be like...
It could be in any festival. Because
Great Escape was campy because it was in Brighton. Hey! That was awful.
And with
and on that bombshell, we did the Wicker Man Festival last year. That was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'd been to. I keep saying I don't know. I do know. We've all been to the Leeds Festival rather a lot of times when we were a bit younger. And Wicker Man last year was our first experience of a slightly smaller festival. And you know, the lineup's not as strong, but the kind of general crack is a little bit more. I don't know, just a little more pleasant really. And I think somewhere like Leeds is just so insane. I'm too old for it really.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer the smaller festivals?
I think I do actually, yeah. It's the thing with the festival, like I know it sounds a bit crazy, like as saying this as a musician, but I mean as a punter when I've been in the past, is it's like, it's at least 50% about the crack and like 50% about the music. And I just kind of think like if I had to pick one, I'd rather have really good crack. I think if I was going to go and see a band I really loved, I'd rather go and see them like at their own show. Because you know, like at a festival, it's like you're just kind of rocking up and you're line checking, and you're never going to be at your very best. If it was a band that I really, really wanted to see, like at their prime, I would just go and see a show on that tour, and you know, let them, give them the chance to kind of show us what they're all about. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed going to the Wicker Man Festival last year, and I'm really looking forward to playing the Wine Off Festival and Summer Sunday this year.
So, if you had any advice for people going to a festival, I mean, what would you go for? The guys from Mike and McGromant said they like to look at it as like a sweet shop. So you go and try different things. Do you agree with that? Or
yeah, you got to try a few new things at festivals occasionally.
Certain sweets that you should try. You should go to the unsigned introducing type stages as well. That's something that we don't do enough of, especially seeing as we're kind of at that stage at the moment. But there's so many great kind of little nuggets waiting to be found. Because you have to be so good now to kind of get on the big main stage at the festival. So
the other thing is as well is like all the big festivals nowadays. Like I don't mean to kind of down talk great bands in any way, shape or form, but like they get headliners who are like ludicrously old. You know what I mean? Like bands like U2 headline festivals. I don't mean to say that I don't like U2. I mean they're a great band, but it's like, for goodness sake, like I don't really want to. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much young talent out there, and it's like, and you've almost just got to be like 40 years old in order to be big enough to headline a festival nowadays. You look at Glasgow, it's just like Stevie Wonder's headline. Like, I mean, he's great, but I mean, bloody hell, Stevie Wonder. Like, I definitely agree with James. Like, try and go and see a few of the stars of the future. Like, you know, get yourself in the introducing tents and stuff. Because the bands will just come and talk to you as well. That's the thing. Like, you know, we're not by any means celebrities, so it's like if when we come off stage at a festival and there's people there who are like, go by see you, it's like we just sit down a big crack. And we did a bit of that Winkball, didn't we? We like had some people over and seen the band and just sat around the campsite with them. It's really good.
So if you could pick, I don't know, 3 bands to keep an eye on, other than yourselves obviously, who are coming through on these sorts of stages, is there anyone that people should keep their...
We really like Naked and the Famous. I mean, they're kind of getting a bit past that stage now.
Naked and the Famous?
The Naked and
we like being naked and we're a little bit famous.
They're really big in New Zealand and I think Australia, and they're going to probably be pretty big over here soon.
Yeah, they're a great band. They're really good. And to be honest, like I would follow a lot of the music in the north at the moment. You know, bands like Let's Buy Happiness, Grandfather Bird, Shields, Tomahawks for Targets. There's quite a few bands who are like making a few waves nationally now, and I really wouldn't rule out the possibility of a bit of a northeast takeover of the UK music scene at some point in the next couple of years. Because we do play quite a lot of these festivals, like you say, and you know, we also play quite a lot in the northeast, and it's rare that you see a band who are like better than Grandfather Birds, is it? You just like don't see what the hype's about.
So I know you were saying, you know, you're not that keen on the older bands being headliners in big festivals. If you could pick your dream festival lineup, say 5 acts on main stage.
Pretty U2. Stevie Wonder.
So who'd you have headlining instead of them then? If you could pick one band right now.
I'd love to see Friendly Fires because we keep kind of getting the chance to see them, and then we always play at the same time.
And it's weird, like we've always been at like the same time as them, or like just like one day behind them in the van. So it's like when we did Great Escape, like they did it as well, and then we did Big Weekend and they did that as well, but they were just one day ahead of us.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see Friendly Fires. That'd be great.
Local natives as well. They'd be on Camera Obscura.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Who else did we have in the van?
Well, there's a band who used to play around Newcastle quite a few years ago called the Flowers of Evil, who are like our favourite band of all time. I'd love to see a Flowers of Evil reunion gig. So we got 4. One more. Maybe the Mars Volta. I think that would be pretty kick-ass.
Get it sorted, get it booked.